Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
First down and 10 at their own 10-yard line. Tevin Coleman with some running room. Tevin Coleman down the sideline. Coleman, one man to beat. Tevin Coleman's going to go 90 yards, and Indiana takes the lead. Randall L. scrambles, started off the pitch, keeps it himself down the sidelines. He could go. Antoine Randall L. touchdown. Rory going to the single coverage, end zone. Touchdown! He hits Cooper again.
Hey, welcome. What's up? I'm back. Let's see if I remember how to do this thing. We're here to talk preview pod, game number 8. I say we. I didn't even introduce anybody. We're here with Seth. No Brandon. Brandon is out. I don't think it made sense why he was out. I think he was like preparing himself for a Friday wedding or something.
It's a wedding week.
But what I mean, I understand his wife's in the wedding, but he's not going to be in the. I don't know what's happening. Whatever.
He's a father.
I mean, so am I.
I don't know.
I don't know either. It's fine. Listen to me.
I like the controversy though.
Giving people crap for not being here, but at least I was in Vegas. That's why I wasn't here. And then, yeah, let's get back to it. How you doing, by the way? You good?
I'm all right. I'm hanging in.
Right. That's good. Good. Yeah, let's get right to it. Game number 8. I already said that, but let's talk about it again. We're here to preview the game against Washington, the Huskies from the state of Washington, 4-3, 2-2 in conference, at our Indiana Hoosiers, number 13 in the country, ranked above Texas A&M, ranked above Alabama. It has Paul Feinbaum's hair that he doesn't have falling out. I'm sure, I haven't listened to him, but I'm sure he's lost his mind about it. But 7-0, 4-0 in conference. It's going to take place this Saturday at noon, which is 9 a.m. Washington time, at the Rock Memorial Stadium in beautiful Bloomington, Indiana. The leaves are changing in my neighborhood. I don't know what the trek was like going down for Brandon last weekend, but I'm sure it's going to be great. Just great scenery on the way down Saturday morning and on the way back up Saturday afternoon. This is going to be on television, believe it or not. It's going to be on Big Ten Network at noon, but we're also going to have ESPN Game Day, College Game Day in town. That starts at 9, right, Seth? But I think gates open at 6:30 for that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So I'm sure that there will be students and other people lined up for, I'd say, a minimum of 10 hours prior to 6:30 waiting to get their spot. It is a once in a since they've been doing it opportunity, I guess. I mean, the one that they did on a Thursday night before an Ohio State game was kind of College Game Day, but they weren't outside. They were inside the stadium. We were still doing construction on the south end zone. It didn't seem right. I think we lost by like 21 points anyway, but yeah, so it's official. The official setup: Corso, McAfee, Davis, who else is on that thing? Desmond, Herb Street, the whole gang going to be in town. I feel bad for wherever Herb Street has to fly out of Bloomington's airport to wherever major game he has to go to immediately after. But has the line changed at all, Seth?
Not that I've seen. It's still
all right.
Sitting at what, 6.5?
Been solid 6.5 for a few days. I don't remember what it opened at. Do you know? Did it open at 5.5?
I didn't look at it right away.
I didn't either. Oh, yeah, we don't have the betting guy with us, but 5.5 over under 53.5. You know, Brandon talks about this every time he's done a preview. We're going to break down the opponent as much and as little as we can, if that makes any sense. If you want to go back and listen to us get more in depth about actual players and their stats and where they're from and everything else, we should have probably talked about them in episode 206, which is dedicated fully to talking about the Huskies and kind of breaking down their key players and everything. And I think everybody we talked about on that one, Seth, is still relevant.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah, so I'm not going to do what Brandon's been doing. I mean, no offense to him, but there's only been a few rankings changes for us that I want to talk about, Seth. The +4 turnover margin last week bumped us up 23 spots in the country in that category. And then I'm trying to see if there's any other bigger one. Oh, the rushing. No. Our rushing went from 32nd to 23rd in the country, up 9 spots if you can do the math. So yeah, man, we're moving. I mean, nothing fell more than 3 spots, and that was our passing defense, but we still hold people under 181 yards a game, which is insane. All right. That's enough of that talk. If we need to go back up there and compare it, that's kind of the whole reason I did that whole chart, was if we want to compare the two teams, at least we had the two teams there to see. But this is an interesting team we're going to talk about here in Washington, and I'd like to get your opinions on them because I'm assuming you've watched them, and I have not. So let's get into their schedule, and it's another weird one, I think. So Weber State, Eastern Michigan to start off the season, both big wins, and then they lose at the Seahawks Stadium. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, to Washington State. That was an ugly game. I think we watched that game together wherever we were at. It was weird. It was a terrible game to watch. And then they kind of alternate wins and losses the rest of the season. So lost to Washington State, win to Northwestern, at Rutgers, loss, Michigan, win, and at Iowa. They rushed the field after they beat Michigan, didn't they?
I think so. Oh, goodness, sure I believe so. Yes, I think that's
pretty sure
right.
Illinois did the same thing, didn't they?
Yes.
I think they did the same. This is ridiculous. Like, it's not even the same Michigan, like a real Michigan team, I feel like.
All right.
Either way,
Washington.
That's where they're at. And they came off of a bye. They're coming off of a bye, which has 1 for 1 proven it doesn't matter. 2 for 2. UCLA came off of a bye too.
Oh, this is the 5th time that they've had multiple weeks to game plan for IU.
Northwestern, UCLA, Nebraska are the 3 I know for sure. FIU obviously started the season. Who else? Maryland?
Which play last week?
Nebraska. I already said Nebraska, though.
Northwestern, UCLA, and FIU. That's 5.
Nebraska,
Washington,
UCLA.
Washington,
Nebraska.
You're
counting Washington.
Yeah,
okay,
you're
counting
the
Washington.
5th.
I'm going off a record. Obviously, we haven't lost any of these teams.
Oh, no. Yeah. 4-0 so far, and obviously in multiple week preparations.
Okay, so this is the part where we do talk about the rankings of the opposing team nationally.
Much better than I thought, too. Some of these were sneaky.
Very weird to me is what I thought. So here we go. I'm going to go through them, and then I'm going to go and hit these ones I italicized. I'm sure you're looking at it. The people listening are not, so this will be interesting. Total offense is 23rd in the country. Scoring offense, 94th in the country. I just wrote how, and we'll talk about it here in just a second. Rushing offense, not great, 71st in the country. Passing offense is great, 17th in the country.
Remember, Will Rogers is the transfer from Mississippi State when they ran that wide open offense. So he's very much we talked about this in the previous podcast. That's what he does. He's a prolific passer.
Yeah. Here's, I think, what attributes to them being such a bad scoring offense. They have allowed 15 sacks, which puts them in the bottom half of the country and is over double what IU has allowed through 7 games. They are 117th in red zone efficiency. 75% out of the 28 trips, they're scoring points, which sounds good, right? But only 14 touchdowns.
Boom.
Out of the 28 times. IU, just in comparison, 93% with 44 trips to the red zone and 37 touchdowns. So, I don't know. I'll just read this. I'm going to just read it. I usually don't. I type it as if I'm going to read it, and then I don't read it. So I'm just going to read through this, and then I'm going to sit back and I'm going to listen to what you have to say here at the end. So what does it all mean? Well, Will Rogers, you talked about him already. I think you guys talked about him a little bit on the breakdown pod.
Mm-hmm.
He's been the bright spot. He's over 72% completion, over 1,800 yards. He's got a 13-2 touchdown to interception ratio. He's got playmakers all over the field. In Giles Jackson, who I think lines up in the slot. He's a smaller of the three big wide receivers at 5'3". He's got Denzel Boston at 6'4". He's got another guy who's blanking, and maybe last name's Jordan, maybe. But I'm blanking on his last name. He's 6'2". That are NFL caliber type wide receivers, probably pretty similar to what we saw in Maryland. But here's the difference. They have a tight end, the brother of Leatu Lee. I don't even know how to say his name. Leatu Latu, that plays for the Colts, the defensive end. His brother, Kelke Latu, a lot easier to say. 6'7", monster, and can catch the ball. I think he's fourth on the team in receptions. Offensive line, everybody says they're a big, solid offensive line. They don't really run the ball very much. They've allowed 2 times as many sacks as IU, over 2 times. They do have a very good running back from what you look at statistically, but they've only ran him 99 times, which is, I'd say only. I think the next guy on the team's run 20-something times. But he's got 681 yards, which if you break it down, nearly 7 yards a carry. But he only has 5 touchdowns. Let me compare something for you. IU has multiple running backs over 5. That's 4 running backs over 5 touchdowns. 2 running backs over 70 carries. 4 running backs that average over 6 yards a carry. What are they going to do, Seth? What do you expect from their offense on Saturday?
They're going to be multiple. They are going to have multiple options to try to exploit this team. You're going to see kind of a blend of Arizona's team from last year, which was pretty good, and some of the Mississippi State teams you've seen from the last 3 or 4 years with Will Rogers. It's a little bit of dink and dunk offensive pass game, where I think a little bit Mike Leach, more on the quarterback side. Jed Fish is, he tries to run the ball, but it's kind of just for show. They're really trying to set up a lot of pass game. They like to do a lot of horizontal stuff, a lot of short stuff, and eventually they'll test you deep. And with the size of the receivers, the quality of the running backs, they have pieces that, if they're playing together, can put a hurt on some teams. When I looked at the Iowa game, I have no idea what the hell team showed up there. That was a cross-country trip that they were just not ready for, not prepared for by any stretch of the imagination. You watch the Michigan game film, and they look like world beaters. So there's some inconsistency there. There's some, you hit on this, there's some inefficiency in the red zone. So anytime you're only at +1 on a turnover ratio, which you'll probably get to later, but I'll cut to the chase there. And you're only converting half of your red zone opportunities into touchdown, and only another half of those into field goals. That's a lot of empty calories. That's a lot of empty points on the board. That's a lot of empty trips to the red zone. And because of that, you're not being able to put up the points on the board. You look at their defensive stats, the anomaly being Iowa, they're shutting teams down. It's a lot of times the offensive inconsistency is what's not keeping them, or it's not allowing them to win. The 16 points in Iowa, the 18 points at Rutgers, even in some of their wins, 24 points Northwestern, 19 points in the loss to Washington State. This is not a prolific offense. Their defense is going to keep them in the game, though. But they have pieces. They have size advantages. They have different ways they can exploit you, so you can't sleep on them. It's one of those things where you think, 7-0 versus 4-3, this should be a little bit of a walkover. They have to travel 2,000, 2,500 miles across the mountains. Who knows? Who knows what team shows up?
Yeah. You kind of hit on a couple things. I'll skip ahead a little bit. They've played 2 true road games. And that was at Rutgers, who's not a good team. We've seen that. And at Iowa, and they were beaten down.
And let's be real. The Washington State game was in Seattle, which is
right down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. and not, you can use the time difference for Iowa, but a 12 o'clock kick here is an 11 o'clock kick in Iowa, which is it's only 2-hour difference for them.
It's a 9 o'clock kick local time for them.
Yeah, and they played at 8 p.m. in Rutgers, so they can't really use that big of a time. They can't use the time difference thing there. They have not played well at all in any of their true road games, and I honestly don't think. And I'd like to talk about the defense here in just a second, and then go back and look at the schedule. So let me slow down a little bit.
No,
but yeah,
your point is though that 3 hours, that's getting up at like 6 a.m. They have to be starting stretching and starting getting ready 6 a.m.
Yeah, college kids.
Yeah, like local time. Obviously, it's 9 a.m. Bloomington time, but that's an entire body change. That's an offensive side is going to be more affected by that, but from a sense that everything has to be working together. You have all these cohesive pieces moving in precision. A lot of that's going to be potentially in play with, groggy morning kids.
Yeah. And
they consider it.
They haven't played well on either side of the ball on the road, which I guess we can use as a transition to get right into the defense, because their defense statistically really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like scary, like what we saw going into the Nebraska game last week. The difference is, in my opinion, I don't think they've played anybody that's worth having any sort of good offense, right? Iowa shouldn't have a good offense, doesn't have a good offense. Hell, I don't even think they threw for like 100. I don't think they threw for over 150 yards in that
Didn't
game.
need to.
Rutgers, we know Rutgers doesn't have a good offense. Their best quarterback that they've played this season, and I'm not even kidding you, this is all statistics, was the Weber State quarterback.
Oh.
He's thrown for over like 1,700 yards and like has a 79% completion percentage. Like he's really good, like 30-something touchdown. Like he's crazy. That's the best quarterback that they played. They're not going to get our top quarterback per se, but Taven's not, he's not a nobody, a scrub. Well, let's talk about their defense real quick. They're 8th in total defense, 16th in total scoring defense, which is 17 points a game. This part was a little shocking based on what I couldn't find. First in passing defense in the country, only allowing 123 yards per game. Here's where strength is on weakness for us, at least. 66th in the country rushing defense. And they only have a +1 turnover margin. Not great there to finish up. Their defense is essentially their offense just kind of transitioned over. Not great at rushing, really good at throwing. Not amazing. Well, 16 is pretty good scoring, but they allow points, but they don't allow yardage, or they move the ball. Tell me about their defense, man. I don't see it being
statistically they're phenomenal.
Problem?
They are absolutely statistically phenomenal. The problem is they have an absolute easy formula to beat them, and it's make them play on the road and just ground and pound the hell out of them, because that's what Rutgers did with Mangahanga, and that's what that's what Iowa did with their stable of running backs. They really just dominated the ball, and when I look at these teams, and you're like, holy hell, how are they number one in receiving defense or passing defense? And you're like, oh my God, that's going to really limit a big part of Indiana's offensive passing attack. That's a big part of their offense. But again, I don't know much about Weber State, Eastern Michigan, or Washington State's historical offensive stats for this year. But we look at the teams they played in the Big Ten. It's Northwestern, it's Rutgers, Michigan, and Iowa. None of those teams can pass the ball to save their lives. If you put them, in waist deep water, and they had to throw the ball to save their lives, or else the tide was going to take them away, all 4 of those guys would perish. So it's a little bit of an anomaly. They certainly have talent. I watched what they did against Michigan. Again, this isn't the Michigan receivers of last year or 4 years ago, or certainly a quarterback. Yeah, absolutely. But what you're working with here is they're high on confidence. They definitely feel like there's some blood in the water with Taven Jackson, even though I think we both have a very high opinion of what to expect from him Saturday. They have to be excited about the opportunity to expose a team that's on the fringe of the playoffs, undefeated, at home. Game day is every bit of hype they're going to have is going to be on display. But it also plays into something that IU has a really strong suit is they can run the hell out of the ball. You talked about it in the offensive breakdown. They can run the ball 40 times on Saturday and be totally fine.
There's another factor that they have to prepare for, I'm assuming, or maybe they don't prepare for it, thinking based off of this year's
run
tape.
Game.
Yeah.
The RPO means a hell of a lot more with Taven Jackson at quarterback.
Yeah, Rourke will run if he has to, and he's made some really good plays on his feet with his feet.
Sure.
But, dude, Taven will take it 70 yards if you give him the chance. I mean,
one guy's a sneaky athlete, and the other guy's, a studly athlete. There's just a little bit of
yes. Yeah, man. I don't know if you want to get into individual players. Again, we talked about that before. They got a couple really good linebackers. They've got a couple corners that have defended over 5 passes each. They only have 4 interceptions, and it's kind of spread throughout everybody. Everybody has 1. The on paper scary, but based on what we did to dang near the same stats last week, I don't expect the same thing, but
they're going to make some plays. They're going to be good. Man. But if I'm able to come up with an offensive game plan, which I think could beat the hell out of them, you sure as shit better think that, the brain trust they have offensively is going to create something a hell of a lot better than I can scheme up in 15 minutes when I'm laying on the couch pre-gaming this podcast.
I think one of the best things too, and I don't know if everybody's heard this or not, but Rourke will be there. Rourke had his surgery. He's done. He's with the team. He's going to be on the sidelines, there for Taven. We've seen how involved Tino is with everything on the sidelines. He's been with Taven since December, so this isn't new. I read a bunch of stuff about Taven, which I already knew, but he's in technically his 3rd season as a redshirt sophomore, but he's gone through 4 offensive coordinators, but he's seen so much talent. Not so much here, but he's seen a lot of talent. Joe Milton and Hayden, whatever that guy's name was, the guy before Joe Milton at Tennessee. And then he saw, he saw the guys here. I mean, we can be honest. Sorsby's not terrible, not a terrible quarterback, but he's not somebody you want to learn from. But then he spent, again, since December, we're 10 months in now, learning from Curtis Rourke, playing with Curtis Rourke, practicing with Curtis Rourke. Being around this offense and being around what we've seen is obviously a genius in Mike Shanahan. It'll be really interesting to see what happens. But here's one of the things I forgot to point out. When I said they were 0-2 on the road, they allowed an average of 30 points a game to Rutgers and Iowa. 30 points. Yeah, not great. So, man, we'll see. I do think that, part of me thinks that they just come out and they're conservative and we try to run the football. The other part of me thinks that they're going to try to stack the box and make Taven prove it. But we'll talk about that here in just a second and IU players to watch. Do you want to talk at all any more Husky football, anything that stands out, any coaches or anything?
No, okay. I want to get right into the players to watch because I think this is the fascinating part.
I'll save the corner talk because I know you're going to bring him up in your sack. So,
the what?
The corner that we should know that's on their team. Did you not bring him up?
No, I didn't.
Jordan Shaw. Do you remember him?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about him. He went from Stanford to here to Washington. Is that
I think he just came from, he was one of our guys.
Okay.
Just one of our guys. Played with us a couple games last year, went to Washington, and starts as a redshirt freshman. So, and has made some moves. All right, IU players to watch on offense, Seth. Who are you watching? I mean, there's
only one answer.
Okay.
And it's Taven Jackson. It's 100% all eyes on him. You're on the fringe of the playoffs. You're 7-0. You need to go to 8-0. You got to keep the ship going. You got to, oh God, I almost fell into Fleckism. Yeah, you got to keep this momentum going. You got to put yourself in position to go up to the Spartans and whoop the shit out of them too. This is a situation where you get, maybe one, maybe 2 games if you're Taven Jackson to ball out, to show everybody what they're missing out on, what they're preparing for next year, what everyone's going to get excited about when Rourke goes off and, gets a draft pick or, gets a UDFA, and then, ends up being, the exciting focal point of the 2025 team and something to build around for the next 2 years. So you have to get yourself hyped. You have to get yourself excited, but then you got to slow it down. Then you got to take that breath. You got to rely on what the coaches have instilled in you, which seems to be a new level of confidence. There was a little bit last year where sometimes he'd have some negative plays and you see him drop his head, drop his shoulders. Nothing too bad. Happen. It's kind of just young quarterback stuff that you have to grow into and mentally mature and emotionally mature. And you saw a different level of confidence last week. Again, it was in a limited exposure. But you saw the offense continue in a way that Rourke was progressing the offense. Those same back shoulder fades to Surratt, the same kind of checkdowns, the same kind of reads at the line of scrimmage. He was making those in a way similar to Rourke. So whatever has clicked with him, with this coaching staff, you have to have a high sense of confidence that he can at least get you 4 quarters of positive play to set you up to go 8-0. So I hate to put all the pressure on him because I really expect early in the game them to go to him a little bit to show that he can, to put some doubt into Washington, to say that, hey, we can throw the ball still. Oh, hey, that back shoulder throw, it's still there. Hey, I got a couple under routes that I'm going to hit. But then once they kind of unstack the box because they're anticipating heavy run, that's when you then bring the run, and then you slow the game down.
Yep.
Yeah, you exactly. You bring in the law firm, you snap the ball with under 3 seconds and then play clock. You really try to limit possessions, and you get in a position where all of a sudden it's late in the 3rd quarter, midway through the 4th quarter, somewhere in that ballpark, and you're like, oh my God, we're down 2.5 scores. We're down 17, 18 points, somewhere in that ballpark. And, if IU scores one more time, it's over. Or if there's an interception here, it's over. So you have to methodically use the game plan and use Taven's athleticism, use this newfound confidence that he has, and really set a tone early so that you can kind of play that Michigan brand of offense last year to really lay heavily on the run game as the game proceeds.
So you talked about coming out and tossing it around. And so, I mentioned the law firm of Lawton, Ellison, and Black, but I think the last one that I have written down is Elijah Surratt as a safety blanket. I think that he is going to be a major focal point. And here's the thing: you were talking, and you were kind of giving me, like what you've seen on some of the, and no offense on this. So let me finish talking before I offend you. What you've heard from like a lot of these, undereducated national college football analysts, right, that are on ESPN that are like, oh man, I don't know. I kind of like Washington without Rourke being out. They got the backup quarterback in. Well, the thing is, this backup quarterback has started 5 football games. He started 5 games. He's played in more than 5 games. He's played not great, but that was in a Walt Bell offense. Again, the guy, it's not like he hasn't seen anything. He was in Tennessee. He's seen the most hostile possible crowd you could see. He played a little bit when he was there. He's played here. He played at Lucas Oil. Almost led us back against Louisville. Again, another thing that stood out to me, and again, no offense, I know that you know what Taven does. I don't think Cignetti's going to sit back and just run the football. I think he's going to do what he's done all season. I think he's going to go for the throat. If we win the toss, we're going to get the ball. We're not going to play defense. We're going to go score first and then sit back and do what we've done all season. It'll be really surprising to me if we do like what you said. I'm okay with it. I'm fine. I don't think we need 56 points. I'll take 24 and a win. But I don't think he'll do that. We'll see. If the game script only allows him to do it, he'll do it. But I think he's going to go for the jugular again, like he has all season. Did you want to say something about Taven?
Oh, no, I was just going to say that Josh Heupel's turning himself out to be a pretty good developer of quarterbacks over the last 4 or 5 years, too. So as much as I don't really I'm not a huge fan of Tennessee, it's hard to deny what he's been able to do. So, yeah, just the whole Walt Bell, like it's Josh Heupel, Walt Bell, then,
they got Mike Shanahan and Tino. Yeah, I mean, what a difference.
Yeah.
All right, defense.
Yeah, this one I had a little bit of a blank slate for because it can be any number of people. I really think that the defensive backs are going to be a huge part of this game. I mentioned in the previous podcast, I thought Will Rogers was a little bit undersized. He's listed as 6'2", 215, if memory serves correctly. So you want to get in his face, limit his throwing lanes. He has some mobility. He has a little bit of moxie and a little bit of toughness to him. He likes to put his shoulder down, but he's also susceptible to making mistakes. So you really want one of these DBs. I don't want to single any of them out. I think, between Terry Jones Jr. last week, kind of out of nowhere, I think Amari Farrell is a guy looking as a ball hawk potentially to make an impact play. So it's identifying who's going to be that guy who's going to make that game-changing play, to bring Indiana back to, kind of back into the slang. So, I don't know if it's going to be Pons, Johnson. If I had to put money on it, I'd probably go with Amari Farrell.
Yeah, you almost took my entire list. I mean, you talked about pressure, so that eliminates Kamara. You talked about
I tried to tease and weave, man. Come on.
The defensive backfield. So there goes my Pons breakout game. I then was thinking, I was like, I got to pump up my two guys that just had huge games in Amari Farrell and Terry Jones Jr. And then you took them out while we were going through. So I
left out the D tackles, all the linebackers.
No, I'm not worried about their run game. I'll go with I'd like to see a little Sean Asbury repeat. I think that he's kind of growing
to make it to the end zone.
He was there, dude. That dude
he was so close.
Understand, like I was sitting there watching. I was like, okay, cool. The wide receiver fell down, but he was like falling down and trying to trip him at the same time. And I was like, oh, he just got him. I think that he's kind of growing into that position, and he's kind of done it throughout the season, and now he's kind of found it. And I think now that with that major move that I texted you guys about, with pulling Sanguinetti and putting Farrell back at the safety position and TJJ at the Husky is monster, or Rover. I can't call it a Husky position, Rover position. I think that's going to be huge as the season goes on. I think Amari Farrell obviously is a true safety. I think that's what he was recruited as from the very beginning anyway. And yeah, he didn't do anything that was overly like in your face in that game against Nebraska, but that's what you want from your D-backs. You don't want somebody to stand out. You want somebody to not get a ball thrown to him the entire game. So, I'll go with Asbury. I mean, with a little bit of an honorable mention for my guys, Farrell and TJJ. So Terry Jones Jr., by the way, if you guys don't know who TJJ is, real big fan. So, that's it. I think on offense and defense players to watch. Yeah, I said I'm not worried about their run game. Those are famous last words. I think we'll be okay. Where do we rank in rushing? 4th at 81 yards a game.
Yeah.
So, and we've played some pretty, not amazing, but pretty decent running backs, especially at Northwestern, that would be fairly comparable. So, all right, let's take a break here for a minute. We'll talk a little bit of some realty stuff with Garrett, and then we will be right back. This episode is brought to you by your go-to expert in the Indiana real estate market. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in a home right here in the heart of the Hoosier country, Garrett Lawton with True Blood Real Estate is the agent that you need. He's not just a real estate agent, he's a Hoosier fan just like you. And Garrett knows Indiana inside and out, from Bloomington to Indianapolis and everywhere in between. Plus, his personalized service makes the buying and selling process smooth and stress-free. So if you're ready to make a move, give Garrett a call at 317-410-2500. 8851 or visit his website at lawton-realty.com. Okay, we're back. So we have no Brando's Randos. I'm sorry for that. We will go over the Big Ten football slate whenever we get there. But until then, Seth, dump your sack on me.
Yeah, you guys have been getting your money's worth out of me lately. So my sack has been largely emptied. I had one for you today. And you got me thinking about Brendan Sorsby. So I did a little research here. Cincinnati is 5-2. I lost their ranking here, but they are ranked. He is 1,928 yards, 67% completion rating, 8.3 yards per pass, long of 71, 13-4 interception or touchdown to interception. He has a passer rating of 152.1. Also, 6 rushing touchdowns.
The dude's a stud, man. If he's in the right system, he's a stud.
Yeah. I mean, the question is, you still obviously rather have Rourke, right? Or Rourke and Jackson?
100%. Oh, my gosh, 100%. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing really well, though. I mean, you have to be. We never root against anybody when they leave, especially under circumstances with a new coaching regime, all that jazz. But he's one of those guys who's really excelling.
Yeah, I have no hard feelings towards him.
We anticipated it. I thought we all thought he was going to be really strong once he matured. Into the role.
He's always been a guy for me that I had liked. I liked his game and where he came from at a high school, at a Lake Dallas high school in north side of Dallas, and that level of football that he played. Now he's in, we can be honest about it, I guess, a weaker conference.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope he beats the freaking doors off of Dion in Colorado on Saturday, because Julian Lewis will be there. So to see them struggle against Cincinnati would be amazing. So, by the way, we're hearing, those of you that care, the Julian Lewis watch. Michigan, I guess, is kind of on his slate for his maybe revisit out to IU. So we can kind of pencil him in for that one. Thought maybe he'd try to get up here, but obviously had Colorado already on his mind. So anything else in your sack other? Nope. Okay. Let's do predictions. Then we'll go through the Big Ten real quick. Let's go through the Big Ten first. We don't want to do that. People stop listening on predictions, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let me pull it up here. I thought I had it pulled up, but then I looked at the Pacers score real quick.
All right. You do that. I'll fill in for myself here.
Okay. I got it. We're good.
Okay.
We're good. You ready?
Yeah.
We got a game on Friday night. Nothing like Friday night Big Ten football. Coaching for his life. Rutgers at USC. USC favorite by 13.5.
Give me Rutgers.
I think USC wins this one.
Well, not money line, dumbass, but
no.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. To cover 13. I think 13's a lot.
13's a lot of points. And USC's defense is atrocious.
Yeah. But man,
They play better at home though. Yeah. It's a 3.
That's a stay away game for me. That's a stay away game.
But again, it's only 8. No, it would
be. It's 11. It's 11.
11 o'clock Eastern time. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an 11 p.m. kick. All right. We've got this game. We'll talk about it in a minute. I think a sneaky could be decent game. Not 25.5 point spread, I don't think. Nebraska's got to go to the Horseshoe on Fox. Does Ravioli bounce back and have a decent game?
No.
Okay.
That number is insane. It scares the life out of me. I would not touch that game if I had to.
No. Nebraska plus 1,800.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No chance.
Unbelievable.
You said 25.5, right?
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
That's tough.
With an over-under of 48.5.
Right. So 38-10. Yeah.
Insane. Another game that probably won't be close, that I probably won't touch either. Number 20, Illinois traveling to number 1, Oregon. Oregon favorite by 3.5 touchdowns.
Ooh.
Yeah. Their offense, other than I think maybe last week, has struggled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, that last week was Purdue, right?
Yeah, and even then they weren't explosive.
They weren't great. They had 21 points in the first quarter, I think, and then kind of jogged through the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean that's another one. I don't,
dude.
Nope. Wouldn't if I had. Yeah, no good feelings.
It's sneaky Illinois.
If I had to, I was say if I had to, I'd lean a little towards Illinois.
I might throw a $5 on Illinois. Just, I mean,
right,
5 to win 45. Might as well.
Half a unit at most. Yeah.
Yeah. God, dude, there's so many tough games. Northwestern at Iowa. Iowa favorite by 2 touchdowns.
This is the game that Northwestern's sneaky and stays in. Going to be close. So I would lean towards like a 17-16 Iowa win kind of thing.
Dude, I'm not betting on any of these games this week.
Yeah, right. Maryland, Minnesota is better? Well,
yeah. Minnesota favorite by
touch.
4 points.
Nope, wouldn't touch it.
No, thank
Couldn't
you.
talk me into it.
This one I might touch against the spread. Your boy James Franklin going to a night game at Camp Randall, favorite by 6.5 points.
What do I tell you every year?
He's going to lose one of these games.
He's going to lose a game he shouldn't.
And Wisconsin's on fire.
It's the James Franklin way. This is the game I had circled as a trouble spot for them.
They're on fire right now.
Right. They have no reason to be. Again, another transfer quarterback. Their top quarterback goes down, and all of a sudden they've caught fire. I'd lean towards Wisconsin. 52
points, 42 points, 23 points in the last 3 games. 2 of those on the road.
I'd lean towards Wisconsin.
Yeah, I like that. Might be the one I put some money on. And then the nightcap, I guess you would say, the one that another one I hate. Michigan State at Michigan. Throw the records out the book, although they're both
4 and 3.
Michigan favorite by 3.5 with an over under of 40.5.
Yeah, this is borderline unwatchable.
Yeah, I'm not watching this game, dude.
No, this is a hate watch. I would lean towards Michigan State a little bit, just because.
Yeah,
and then
struggling.
As an IU fan, you want Michigan State to win, because they will come in next week high off their own farts and set themselves up for a very stinky collision with the Hoosiers. So
here's an alternative.
It's a classic.
Here.
What is it? What do we call it when they suck the following week after a big win? A letdown. It's a classic
game.
letdown. Yeah.
Here's an alternative, and I'd like to. No, you know what? They have to go to Oregon next week. Never mind. Or Oregon comes to Michigan next week. Oof. Yeah. I was gonna say I thought they had a bye week and then IU, but did we want Tuttle to win so we can keep Tuttle in the game? We want Tuttle in because it doesn't matter. Let's be honest. What was the Davis Warren is their leading passer with 444.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
Here, I have a late Seth sack. Does Michigan win another game?
Let me look at their schedule.
Michigan State at home.
Yes, Northwestern at home.
Oregon. Okay, I was gonna say that's the only one I think they stand a chance that they have a favorite in.
They are.
I mean, aside from Michigan State,
they're favorite to win that by 78%. Their favorite to win this one, 66%, 67%.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, dude, those games are tough. Their defense will win them one of these games. Not against IU. That's. I think we got that one. But all right.
Let's take
Here's
this home.
What everybody came for: the predictions, because we were so good at these last week. Brandon is not here, so we'll start with him. He has a pretty similar, a little bit higher scoring than what I've got. He's got Washington 13, IU 38.
Ooh.
Yeah, I said similar, Seth, so get ready.
Okay.
You want to go last?
I can.
Or next? Okay, I'll go last. I've got Washington 17, IU 31.
Oh my God, we did it again. God damn.
Same thing.
I have Washington 17, IU 30. I think they get 6 red zone opportunities and they settle for 3 field goals. So 21 plus 9, 21. 30, which is also exactly what they're averaging giving up in true road games.
Yes. Wow, you just like Price is Right $1 to me on that one.
I literally had 30-14 and 30-17 written down. So like either way, it was those were the 2 that I had.
I gotta nail the score for me to take home the win on this one. But probably
hopefully we're closer. I mean, who cares? Go 56-7 again. Let's be way off.
Yeah,
who cares?
Yeah. Let's be way off on this one. All right, yeah, that's it. That's enough for now. Like 45 minutes or so. It's a lot longer than the podcast you guys did on one of the biggest wins in the history of the program. Be sure to check out the pod on Twitter and Instagram at Happy Hour IUFB. Be sure to download, rate, review, and follow on all of our platforms. And join us next episode as hopefully we celebrate 8-0 and a top 10 ranking. Until then, cheers.
This whiny little girl's in Las Vegas and he's want to talk shit to us. Cheers.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.